It's time to make a trip to Canada, is it? Is it for you? If you've got your co-PR and you're planning to arrive in Canada and you're wondering, what should I be doing or what should I be packing? Well, in this video, I'm going to be telling you everything I have on my checklist I think you should be doing before packing your bags to arrive Canada. Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Titi Lola. I live in Toronto, Canada, where I basically share my lifestyle with you guys. And not just my lifestyle, I also provide information, advice, and tips like this to help you prepare yourself if you're moving into Canada, or to help you, survive in Canada as a new immigrant. So if that's the type of content you're looking for, you're welcome. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking that subscribe button and also the bell button so that you know whenever I post a brand new video. I think at this point I'll be advising you to prepare to take notes, because the first thing I'll be asking you to do is to make a checklist. In fact, before you even go further, if you know anyone who's planning to come to Canada in this time, please make sure to share this video with them, because it's gonna make sense. So please share it right now. Give this video a thumbs up even before you watch it. Okay, so here's me promising that this video is going to be good, and I really hope that you find it helpful. So let's jump right into the details very quickly. Now, the first thing you're going to need to do is to make a checklist of all the things that you're going to be doing or packing, or the things that you need to remember or be mindful of. The next thing I'll be asking you to do is to update yourself on the travel restrictions depending on what country you're going to be going to. Canada, for example. So there have been new updates on travel restrictions in the last week, and there's really no telling that these updates will not change. Do well to make sure that every other day or every week before your travel, you're updating yourself with all of the travel restrictions so that you know how to best prepare for your trip. Next thing you should be doing is planning your money. I feel like this is something that you might think you have enough time to do. Planning for your money is something I think you should actually be doing like a long time before your trip, because exchange rates are inconsistent. For example, the Central Bank of Nigeria has made it so difficult for international money transfers. So be proactive. How much do you need in Naira before you leave? If you're in Nigeria, I'm Nigerian, so that's a perfect example for me. How much do you need in Canadian dollars, and how can you exchange these monies? Who are the people that can help you or give you information on money exchange? This is the time for you to find out how much money should I be planning for. One thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about planning for how much money you need is actually also thinking about how much money you're allowed to enter into the country with. So you need to remember that if you're carrying more than the allowed amount, you could be held behind in customs for questioning, and depending on your situation, they could start looking into money laundering, and that's not something that you want to be confronted with. So make sure that you're following whatever guidelines with regards to how much money that you can travel into the country with. The next thing you need to be mindful of is your travel arrangement. What's this going to look like? How long is your layover? What's the weather situation in the country where you're going to be laying over? How do you need to prepare? I think one of the challenges people have when they're traveling internationally, especially as first-time travelers, is not knowing what to expect. Now, these are things that you need to plan for. Are there any, especially in this time now, are there any restrictions in those layover countries? What are you allowed to do? Are there any limitations? And yeah, just really prepare for those things. If your layover is going to be really long, know what time of the day is going to be in that country. Is it going to be dinner time or lunch time? So how can I plan towards making sure I'm going to be okay before my next flight? So be aware. If you need to get a sweater because it's going to be cold in that country, be aware of that. If you need a neck pillow to get yourself comfortable, make sure, in fact, I'm not even saying if, every international traveler needs a neck pillow. I got this one since 2016 and I still use it. So it's not a one-time purchase. It's something that you keep using when you're relaxing, watching TV, when you get here or in quarantine, you always get to use it. So I think this is a worthy investment and it should be on your checklist. Also, with regarding trip, what's your luggage allowance? If you need to get a hand measuring device, please do, so that you don't get to the airport and because you're traveling internationally and you're physically moving your whole life from one continent or one country to another, you feel like you have to pack everything, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. Have something that allows you to monitor what your luggage allowance is depending on the airline, so that you can best prepare and not have to get to the airport and start unpacking stuff and sending stuff home, or even having to pay ridiculous amounts in excess luggage fees. I don't know if that, if that's something you're thinking about, but I don't think it's worth it. So I'm just really going to touch on all my points on my checklist because I feel like categorizing them is limiting my flow and I have to get back to work. Okay, so let's talk about what you're packing in your bag. Now, the first rule of traveling or moving your life, if you're moving from one country to another, is anything that can easily be replaced should not be taking up space in your luggage. Don't do it. Clothes, shoes. I tell you, I think the most important shoe I had, with me when I was coming to Canada was the one on my feet. I may have brought one or two heels, which I eventually found useless. In fact, I have heels, I have different shoes in my closet that I don't wear because in Canada, you'll find with your running shoes, sandals in the summer, slippers, and boots in the winter, you don't really need that many shoes or clothes. Well, clothes you can always buy. So here's what I'm going to say. Unless you have sentimental pieces in your closet, leave your clothes alone. Jeans are hard to purchase. I'm going to be talking a bit more about the things that you can buy easily in another video, but jeans might be a hard buy. So if you have jeans that are particularly precious to you, you know that they are hard to get or they are too expensive, take those. Sweaters, take those. Beautiful scarves, take those. But I would say the most important things for me, I'm thinking you should take, are things that would really be difficult to buy. For example, if you're a plus size person, it's not really an easy shopping experience for people who are on the bigger side or tall. So take the things that that you cannot easily replace. Another thing I would say is if you like traditional pieces, I absolutely do. And I feel like one of the things I should have done better was to actually get more traditional pieces. So if I were in your shoes, I would actually be packing more of my African traditional wears, and just get here and buy things that I need as, I settle down. Also, I know that when I was in Nigeria, or even when I lived in the UK, I was a huge fan of perfumes. I really like good smell. But coming to Canada, I was in shock, to see that most public spaces are scent free, especially like corporate or government organizations or spaces. You're not allowed to like wear heavy smells because of people's allergies. So don't be surprised if you go to a place and you see a sign, no bananas. Yeah, people get allergic to bananas. That was funny, but that's a thing. And don't be shocked. That's what I'm telling you. So I would say if you have like a whole collection of perfumes, I would say take one or two. Don't waste your luggage space. You can always replace whatever you have. I don't think it's really worth it to buy something that you barely use anyways. But another way to like, get your body smelling nice is the use of essential oils or body mousse, all this type of natural stuff. But I wear my perfumes depending on where I'm going. Another thing you need to do, maybe you need to do this one a few days before you leave, is start gathering your documents, arranging your documents according to how you need them. Now you know that you need your travel documents, your test results, your passports. You need those things. Those are the first things that you need, so put them where you can easily see them, maybe in a transparent bag, in your handbag. please, or in your suitcase, if you know, whatever your case is, if you're a guy, or yeah, so do not put your personal documents in the bags that you're going to check in. So organize your documents how you need them, your electronics and whatnot. And speaking of electronics, one thing you also need to know is the cable or the socket system here is completely different than what we have in Nigeria. It's funny how you can easily forget something so small, but then it can affect you in such a crazy way. So I've had two of my virtual friends who were in quarantine fall into this trap of, you know, the different socket situation. So they came and they couldn't charge their computer, and they were in quarantine. They were bored out of their mind because they couldn't, you know, plug. So I'm just going to show you. This is pretty much what our socket system looks like. It's really tiny. So if you wanted to have success with using the cable system here, you will need to get a universal adapter. So make sure that that's one of the things that you're buying before you leave, or you know, buy it on your way to the airport or at the airport, which will be more expensive, but it's still better for you to have it handy so that when you get here, you're not going to be you know, you're not going to be stranded. Another very important point I want you to note is if you're planning to drive in Canada. So this is for those who are already experienced drivers. So if you're already an experienced driver in your country, please ask your local or federal ministry of driving. Ministry of driving, that doesn't even make sense. I'll just give an example. So in Nigeria, the Federal Road Safety Commission is in charge for driver's licensing and all that stuff. So the best thing that you can do for yourself before you arrive is find out how you can get your whole driving history from that organization, whichever one is in your country. So if you're planning to drive in Canada, it's important that you get that history, that driving history, so that you're able to exchange your driver's license for an international driver's license that allows you to drive temporarily for 6 months before you get your actual license. So there's a process to get, you know, driver's license in Canada, but if you already have experience from your home country, you will need to start that process from scratch. So help yourself that way, save yourself some money and some time, and get your driving history. Now, the next point on my checklist is that you know the weather of the city or the province that you're arriving at. I love to interact with new immigrants, and one of the stories I've actually heard was I came to Canada smack in the middle of winter. It was minus 12 degrees and I was freezing because I didn't have a jacket, or I wasn't wearing proper shoes or something like that. And in my mind, I'm like, how are you going to a place and you don't check the weather? Like, if you check my phone, I actually have like weather details of countries that I've never been, or you know, I just have friends there, and because I have friends there, I want to know what the weather is, so I can, when we're communicating, I kind of like know what's going on there. I know the time zones and stuff like that. So in my mind now, I'm thinking like it should be normal for you to know the weather situation of where you're going, right? But yes, it's easy to forget because all of this move and everything you're doing is overwhelming, and you just forget the smallest things. And that's why I'm here to remind you of the simple things that you may have forgotten or don't remember. So prepare for the weather situation, proper jacket, scarf, something to layer with. Even the airplane is cold. If you're a first-time traveler and you do not know that the airplane can be cold, oh boy, it can be really cold. And depending on who your seatmate is, you may not be able to turn down that air conditioning. If you don't like cold, in fact, carry a scarf-like blanket in the plane. See, someone like me, I don't care. As long as I'm fine and comfortable, I don't care what people say or think. So do you, just make sure you're fine and comfortable. Now, finally, the last thing I'll be asking you to do, to put on your checklist before your trip, is to get some rest. If you can, please get some rest. Traveling is tedious, it's hard work. Take care of yourself. If you're the type that gets you know, that have water retention, or get your, you know, have blood circulation problems when you fly long distance, seek advice from your doctor before you fly. So if maybe they're advising you to take some painkiller in your bag or some aspirin, do so. You know, you could feel dizzy because of the pressure situation in the air. You could have headaches. You may not be able to sleep on the flight. I know some people who don't sleep on the flight. I'm not a flight sleeper. So it's nice for you to, you know, look into how you can relax your mind and your body before you fly. Well, we've come to the end of the video. I have to rush back to work. I hope you found this video helpful. Please share this video to anyone who you think might find it helpful. And I wish you all the best with your plans, your trip, your settling. Do not forget to stick around for more content, as I'll be sharing so much more with you guys this year. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Until then, bye bye.